So these lanes As long as you've written down all of your key arguments. Yeah, that was one. Sorry. Yes. That the guys are potentially moved elsewhere, or should we reroute elsewhere? So you're, what do you propose the light rail system to be for this or just going to see Okay. This thing, you have your light rail here, so you jump onto your train track.
So should we put them here?
It's more because success X is so popular after turning to underground system. Well, when you come to a light rail system,
excuse me.
not very limited, but you are to a certain degree of what roads you could run on. Some like this,
So what we're allowing
something like New Market probably could.
for you to come up and give us your feedback based on the programme there. So the idea is that each table brings your forms, if you feel your form along, or other notes if not, and to give us your top 3 ideas, the top 3 concerns from each table. So hopefully it should take about half an hour. So if we're all happy with that and if we're all ready, then shall we, I don't know how the tables are numbered, should we start over here and going
Table 1.
table 1 to there?
Table 1 to
Okay, so we'll start here and we'll go in a clockwise fashion.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Gilbert. I'm an incorporated engineer, but my best qualification is a healthy dose of common sense. Right, so I'm going to explain this, but some of our design here, and our first one is quite a simple one, is phasing of the traffic lights at Huntingdon Road, Histon Road, Victoria Road junction, and also the lights at the Histon Road, Hedges junction. These lights, the way they're phased, you get traffic blocking junctions, that could be done better. That could be done fairly simply, in my belief. Another consideration we thought about, integrated public transport system. Just like they do in Europe, where you've got transfer between bus, train, things like that. It happens in London, it could be done here in Cambridge. I know it takes a bit of political will, but it's something that could be done. Coming on to Histon Road itself, the Gilbert Road, Histon Road junction, we propose a roundabout, a Dutch-style roundabout, which is Dutch-style cycle lanes. Now, my glamorous assistant over here is going to show you what we've done. Hopefully you can see our idea. Now, to me, this has got several advantages. You need a set of traffic lights, which just basically hold up traffic, you keep the traffic moving. You also don't need to power those traffic lights with energy, electric energy, and you don't have vehicles just standing still, generating lots of carbon monoxide and all the other toxins and nasties. Keep the traffic moving. Even if it's moving slowly, people will be happier rather than be sat square-wheeled on a road. Okay, moving on to the next bit. Cycle paths. Cycle paths. Huntingdon Road, Hills Road, I've travelled along them recently. Cycle paths are now being moved alongside the main road, main traffic. Ridiculous idea. On Hills Road, they were off, away from the traffic, the other side of the trees. Suddenly, they moved into the traffic. That, in my view, is a dangerous idea, and that should be stopped. Okay, we've also made a note that cyclists in general, and I am a cyclist and a motorist, but cyclists, a lot of cyclists do not abide by the law. They don't use lights and things like that. I must admit, tonight I have seen most cyclists using lights, but there should be some enforcement. Who enforces these things? Now, the main thing we think, that light rail is the only alternative solution to our transport problems here. You cannot put more traffic on the roads, existing roads, as we all know. You cannot put an extra 23% of traffic, increased traffic on Histon Road within its existing footprint. To try and widen that footprint and take people's front gardens, it's wrong to me. So there are design ideas in a nutshell. Our design concerns, sorry. Right, first thing I'm going to say that the basic premise for this bus lane and Histon Road in general is totally wrong. We've noted that the road closures that were proposed, the control points, whatever the city, they're starting to fall back away from those ideas. So why are they trying to railroad us on Histon Road into a bus lane? That's quite frankly not needed. Raised cycle lanes, they're quite dangerous, I feel, where you've got the ones I've seen on Huntingdon Road and Hills Road. They should be again segregated, they should be away from the main traffic. So we can look at that one. There's no real requirement for a bus lane in Histon Road. Like I said to our friends from the council and WSP, there's only 7 buses an hour go down there. So what's the rest of the time that road going to do? Madness, 7 buses an hour, that's your maximum. It's a waste of my taxpayers' money, my council tax money. And it will take up people's front gardens and remove trees. So it's not a very green solution. Buses, it's old tech. We need to move away from buses. Cambridge seems to be preoccupied with shoving 400 odd buses into that tiny little bus station in the city centre. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. We know that. Okay, just put the glasses back on.
Can we have the lights on?
Right.
You want one?
Trees are essential. Thank you. Oh, that's better. So, yeah. The bus stops as designed at the moment, they cause congestion and they're dangerous, particularly these floating bus stops, I feel. We don't have a system in the UK like we do in Europe where if a bus stops, the traffic stops. You look in Europe, if a tram stops or a bus stops, the tram will have to stop in the middle of the road, all the traffic stops. We don't have that in our traffic laws. That's an education thing, but bus stops as designed, they cause congestion. There's one bus lay-by in Histon Road, and it's opposite Brownlow Road. But everywhere else, the buses are going to have to stop and cause slight delays to traffic just got to live with it. Trees are essential for air quality. This new scheme is plans to eradicate trees. It plans to eradicate a very nice poplar tree in Histon Road, which belongs to a neighbour. It's not even belongs to the council. That will be compulsory purchased, eradicated. That's not a good move, I can think. It's a backwards move. Okay, let's have a look at. Yeah, so we're moving the trees. Got no replacement. We're going to have an ugly entrance into Cambridge through Histon Road. All the trees are gone. What we got? Just a concrete road. You might as well put a 6-lane motorway through if you're going to do that and knock all the houses down. So, yeah, I've mentioned about the basic premise being completely wrong. You need to go back to the drawing board, guys.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Thanks very much. Yeah, make sure we get that. Okay. I'm sorry to say, but there is 20 minutes because we do have to leave at 9, and I don't wish to slow things down, but if we could keep the presentations to very succinct outputs from the questions. Sorry, if that's okay.
Trina Moore speaking then.
Yeah.
My name is Irene Bodrum, I'm a mathematician. I actually own a house on Histon Road, and that's one of the main reasons I'm here. What I'd like to suggest is that actually the scheme that, as it currently exists is actually quite old-fashioned. It's an old way of designing urban environments. I would invite the team to take a more modern view and look at things out of the box a little bit. So the first suggestion, the top design idea, is to consider the sort of schemes that they have in some large cities in Europe, where instead of having large buses barreling through at high speeds, which is extremely dangerous in a confined space, they actually have a pool of cars, small cars, electric cars, which can be picked up at various points, preset points, a bit like stations or bus stops, used around town by the residents, and then deposited somewhere else. It's a new idea, but it's working quite successfully in Europe. I think that's something we should consider in a city where people need to move around a lot in quite random seeming ways. We don't have the same sort of traffic flows as some other towns. And where this scheme has actually not done anything for the local community at all. It's bringing people in in a way which is not very useful for them because they get dumped in a couple of places. The bus doesn't even stop on Histon Road. It's a scheme that just won't work. So that's the first thing. Now that sort of scheme I'm proposing is because I expect it to have a longer life. So just as a way of developing transport ideas in a town, it should last for longer, it should work better for longer. The predictions we heard about 2030 are unlikely to be accurate. The timescale is just too enormous and we have no idea how Cambridge will develop. Yes, we know there'll be more people, but we don't know how we're going to need to move them around. And it's very likely that we won't need to move them around on a single stream through the Histon Road. The second thing that we were suggesting is that the guided bus should actually go through Darwin Green. Now I know there are problems at the moment with the development of that site, but in the end, it's a good option to provide enough road space. We looked at different designs of the road space while we were in discussion, and there's no way to really have enough road space to make it safe for the cycles and the cars and have a bus lane. So the choice is, take a lot of land, don't actually solve any problems, put a bus lane in because you really think you have to, or design something properly. If you really need a bus lane, you have two options. One is Darwin Green, where you can give enough space, give enough road space to make everything safe and properly designed and thought out. Or the alternative, keep the bus lane, but make it a lot shorter so that you're not stealing houses from local residents, not cutting down more trees than you absolutely have to. Finally, on that side, there are some designs of junctions which our cycling expert has suggested over there in the corner. So I'd just like to point out that they have been photographed and we'd like you to take a long, hard look at them. They're based on European designs. I'm not the expert in this, he is, but I think it would be useful if this was actually something which was seriously considered. Finally, it's not obvious that the bus lanes actually give the benefits that we think they do. It's very difficult to estimate the actual benefits of making a change like this. They're often lower than anticipated, and it's very difficult to give equal, proper value to the disbenefits of such a scheme. So we're going to lose trees, we're going to lose clean air, we're going to lose decent facilities for people. It's going to be more dangerous than it was to cross the road. which is actually very important because there's a lot of pedestrian and children in particular traffic going to and fro across the Histon Road, all the way up and down it. These are all things which I don't think have been properly considered at all, and I'd like to see some answers. And finally, I'd like to see some proper justification. I'd like to see a cost analysis for some of these things they're proposing. We're being invited to comment, we're being invited to suggest other proposals and suggestions. How can I possibly do that when I don't know how much they're spending and what they're spending it on?